the Broadway cruise that Playbill does.
Starring Tom Cruise as Broadway. As Broadway Joe.
He's the secret king of Broadway.
You ready? The Music House!
Very good.
The Music House! 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 What did you think of Music House?
Do the fade out.
All right. That was so fun. That was so fun.
That was really good.
We all joined in. There's no way that that's actually going to be usable, but we're going to give it a shot.
I think if we just
Probably
yell
too
more
much
into
of the
microphones.
song. Well, we made it a parody by adding our own lyrics, I think.
I think we're okay. No, I think it's just that we are going to have assaulted the people's ears as they're listening to this.
Oh, but in a good way.
Yes.
Kind of like SpongeBob
A little
the
bit.
Musical.
For those
Very
listeners at home who've just replaced the headphones back into their ears after promptly ripping them off from hearing us shout like that. Welcome back. We're glad to have you back. This is, of course, Musicals. It's a show, a podcast, if you will, about musicals for our music pals. I'm Dan, your music noob. Now
Katie.
it's now Twitter of fish, just so you know.
It
at music
is.
noob. Sorry, go ahead, Katie.
And I'm Katie, your music nerd, and it's not Twitter a fish.
Not Twitter of fish.
Sorry, guys. But here today, we're with our wonderful, wonderful friend,
It's my
Kevin
friend now.
Deliva.
Hi, that's me.
Also a
Hi.
friend to my cat.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I'm
Unrelated.
better friends with his cat.
One
than with
time,
him.
many
Yeah.
moons ago, I cat sat for
sat
for
that?
Daniel, and the cat attacked me viciously every day, and so I called many friends to help, and one was Kevin, and he came and played with the cat, so I
It's a
didn't get
wonderful
scratched.
cat. It's your fault. It's
It's
your
definitely
fault.
my fault, but it's also definitely your cat's fault.
I think he's the victim here.
I definitely just sat there and gave him treats to try and get him to like me, and he was like, "I'm gonna scratch you." Yeah, I was like, just like me. I'll do anything.
Do whatever you need.
But it didn't work. And now Katie's dead.
So Kevin, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, no problem.
We really appreciate it. Could you give us a little intro beyond your name? What do you do? Why are you
sweet.
here?
Yeah, sure. My name's Kevin Deliva. I was born on January 11th, 1992. I'm a Capricorn, for those of you that are curious.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, so
Everyone was.
yeah, like I was saying, I actually work as a healthcare consultant, which is super
Ooh.
exciting. But recently I've been chilling in the city, which is great because I get to hang out with my pals like Katie.
Yes.
Yes. I met Katie when we were doing the Second City Music Improv program together.
Yes.
Yes.
Kevin, it's wonderful to meet you
Thank you.
because it's only an official meeting once I've met you through microphones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's real life.
I'm so glad you're here. You seem delightful, but we'll find out. You know.
Oh,
We'll be here
I'm
for the next
tricking you.
hour or so. Was that your Snow White witch?
Look at that character work.
Speaking of
the
insolence.
Second City novel.
The Second City, brought to you by the Second City.
For those listeners at home who unfortunately can't see the visual, Kevin also sort of rubbed his hands together as he was saying,
He knows how to
"Ugh,
physically
I'm
create a
tricking
character
you."
and vocally create a character.
It was nicely
with a
done.
strong point of view.
Yeah, strong point of view.
All right, well, before we jump right into the musical, let's talk about some things going on in the world. The night is approaching. It gets to be night so
It's
quickly.
night literally at 3 p.m.
It's awful.
It's
Yeah.
so dark
Yeah,
so quick.
you wake up in the morning, you go to work, and you say, "Oh, turns out it's nighttime."
Turns out.
That's what happens.
Yeah, and then I feel like I want to work out, but then it's just dark, and I'm like, I don't want to run right now. It's,
Right, it's
too
nighttime.
nighttime.
I watch too much SVU. I can't run in public.
I know
now.
where this is going. Nice
I know
try,
exactly
Chicago.
what happens. Nice try, murderers.
Yeah, exactly. I just ate this whole bowl of spaghetti because apparently all the time is dinner time now, so I'm not going to work out.
I have 3 different dinners. It's so dark.
like,
This
Can't
is
figure
your
out.
fault.
When am I supposed to eat? It's stupid solstice.
Yeah, no, daylight savings time is probably the dumbest idea.
I hate it.
Yeah.
That and the electoral college. Am I right?
Hey!
Thanks, America.
Great segue into
some dark things, some sadness that we've had.
I think it's no surprise
country.
if you track down on any of our Twitters, although I don't want to speak for you, Kevin. You know that we were maybe, if not Hillary fans, I was. Maybe,
Yeah.
okay,
Holler.
so we all were.
And we all love them. 'Cause how
Not
could you
exactly
not?
Trump supporters.
I don't
The
think
opposite-
anyone
exact
was or
opposite.
should be.
Yeah, no one should be.
He is a bit of a toilet person, but he's the president and
President-elect.
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 You're right.
I'm holding on to Obama. I'm clinging to Obama.
Katie and I were texting last week or this week or whatever week and wondering, should we do like a very pertinent, poignant musical
like a political show.
talks about politics and break into it, and then we decided
We started, let's do something that was just pure joy and do a little escapism.
Yep.
Because we all could use it.
Great
and
word.
so we both thought of SpongeBob.
Woo.
Because when we saw it, the show in Chicago, it was the most pure joy I think I might have ever felt in my life from a show.
Legitimately.
It was so joyous.
Everything about it was just so happy.
Yeah.
It was just nonstop. Even the sad parts were happy.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the show itself is sort of dark at times. The musical wasn't at all. It
It
was
Yeah.
deals
just
with real stuff, but it's just so...
It's there's so many bright colors and just
it's
bubbles and
wonderful.
solo
Yeah,
cups
it's
and
wonderful.
pool noodles, and you're just
yeah.
I'll tweet a
love this.
picture of the set that I took before the show started.
Nice. So
Illegally.
did I.
Yeah.
They were
I was
don't
just
take
this
pictures.
Is the fucking
I
coolest
was like,
thing.
okay, just real quick.
So I was you know what? I'm sure I'm gonna do what I want, and I'll tweet that picture for you so you have an
Yep.
idea, a small taste of what it was like to walk into that theater.
Yeah, it was. I hope everyone gets to see it. It's no longer running in Chicago, I don't believe.
No, it's it's gonna go to Broadway.
And I hope everyone gets to see it, and I hope they spend as much time on the really, it wasn't even just the set. I mean, maybe you can, but it was coming into the audience as well. It was a whole Rube Goldberg sort of thing where one thing reacts with the other thing, and it was nerdy and fantastic and absolutely
I loved everything.
delightful.
Yeah, we just thought with how shitty everything feels, how afraid we are for what our country is and what it's gonna turn into. Let's just talk about something nice for a couple hours.
Let's just all be happy, because I think it's safe to assume, and I'm profiling here, anyone listening to this show probably shares our sentiment.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of Trump supporters are listening to this.
They're
podcast
I want to see what people are thinking about musicals nowadays.
I don't know. We're pretty big in central Oklahoma.
Ooh.
Got a lot of listeners in middle Texas.
Bummer.
So audience members were saddened, but hopefully we can put at least a momentary bright spot in your sad lives. Well,
we'll get political later. We'll do Les Mis and Cabaret
Ooh.
and Aida and South
And
Pacific
Newsies.
and Newsies, and we'll do all
Probably
of
the
those.
most political of any musical.
We'll do that, but for right now, let's just have some fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick cabaret alert. This is, I think, the 5th episode in a row
I
that
have to
Katie
talk about it every
has
show.
cabaret.
It's a perfect musical, guys, in case you forgot.
So we've been doing it, but just to put a little cap on it, the first thing we like to do is not getting too much into the specifics, which we'll do. Just kind of go around the horn. My favorite phrase.
That's what Dan says every
My favorite
podcast.
I just had to talk about our initial reactions. So Kevin, how did SpongeBob feel to you?
Okay, so when I first saw it, I was just like, this is really weird. Why would anyone go to this? And then I was like, Katie, let's go. And even before going to see it, I tweeted at them or something, and then ended up getting free tickets for the next week.
Whoa.
So I had a very positive experience
Yeah.
going into the theater. So I was like, all right, cool, this is great. I'm gonna go see this twice. But I loved it. I mean, there was just so many unexpected parts, and it just had all of the bits that you expected from SpongeBob. And if you left that theater not smiling, something's wrong with you.
Then you were a Trump supporter. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Last one.
Yeah.
Last one.
There's so many people that were probably just old theater goers. I feel like that's what I see a lot of times when I go to the theater now. It's just I had money for tickets, so now I'm here.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of them who came to this were probably just I don't know what a SpongeBob is. And then
What is
we're
that thing?
hopefully
He's a
pleasantly
sponge?
surprised.
Lives under the sea.
Yeah.
I don't trust him.
But why does he
Unrealistic.
look like a man? I don't know.
Katie, what did you think? And that's Kevin. I didn't mean to interrupt. Is that everything? Is that everything you felt about the show? Yes.
Oh, I was excited. I loved it. It was
Awesome.
probably like the happiest I've been in my life.
Yeah.
So.
Until now.
Until right now.
Right.
Until literally right now.
Of course.
I definitely agree. I saw auditions for it in
Oh.
Chicago, like an open call, and I was like, that show's gonna suck. I'm not going to those. And then we went and saw it, and I was like, this show's gonna suck. I can't wait to watch it. And then as soon as it was over, as it started, I was like, fuck, I'm such a dummy. Like, why didn't I audition
Wow.
for the show? It was so freaking good.
Oh my
Everything
God.
was so amazing for it. I know, like, biggest regret of my life is not going to that open call.
Yeah.
But it's like amazing. The design, like, they're all gonna like for sure have Tonys. Like, it's just the coolest, like, set design, coolest costume design. The projections, like the sound design, everything was amazing. The story, like, it was still in preview, so it needs some work, but like it'll be fixed by Broadway. And like the songs, like having different like pop artists do each song was a really cool idea. And I think it fit really well. The direction was amazing. Like, everything is like so on point for the show. It's so much fun. Like, some of the most fun I've had in the theater, and I've seen a ton of shows.
We get it, Katie.
Jeez, did you
I know
like
a
it?
lot about musicals.
I'm a music nerd. So I can't believe that you weren't excited about it before going in. Did you watch SpongeBob growing up?
No,
No.
but I'm not. I've seen episodes, but I'm not a big SpongeBob fan.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
I'm
then.
not. And I was sure that the show was gonna be a bummer.
I was sure this show about a talking jolly sponge was gonna be terrible.
I just like that theme song, like, kind of annoys me, and like SpongeBob kind of annoys me.
You're like, yeah, sure, let's go see
How
it.
dare
the
you.
cartoons, I was like, I can't wait to hate watch this. Like,
Also, wow, there were auditions for it. I would never.
I'm so pissed.
They just handpick
Yeah.
people.
That's amazing. I would never go to that audition because it's a small cast, and I'd be like, well, there's no chance. But you totally could have.
That's
You
how I
coulda
feel
made
too.
it. You
SpongeBob the Musical, if
dummy.
you're listening, like, please let me audition for you now.
Can I come
Oh.
back?
Please, I will come back on my hands and knees, like, begging for forgiveness. Like, please.
Oh man.
I have another thing.
Yeah.
Can I do this now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so
There's no rules.
Before-
There are a
okay.
lot of rules, but there are no rules.
There are many rules, but none for you.
what rules? Okay, so
I got in trouble for saying the F word too many times. That's my rule.
Also, because he talked shit about Audra McDonald, and it's like, we don't do that.
why would you
I
do
don't
that?
even know who that
Kevin
is.
gets it.
Yeah.
Still.
Audra.
No, Kevin, like,
Most
still is
Tony
like,
nominated. Is that her?
yes.
Yeah. Fuck
No,
yeah.
I didn't. I thought it was a different person.
Wrong.
Semantics.
Also, before going to SpongeBob, for all of you out there that are wondering, I am very single, and I was on Tinder.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember this?
Yes, I do
Yeah.
remember this.
PSA. Kevin's single.
Yeah, I'm very single.
And he's
very
ready to mingle.
single.
Yes.
Right now I am, but maybe when this is posted, who knows? I could meet the love of my life.
That's right.
Where am I going? Oh yeah, so I was on Tinder.com.
I don't know.
And I matched with this man who was doing like tech for SpongeBob, and then I was like, oh, that's fucking weird. Like,
What?
What the hell? What the hell kind of job is that? Like
I know.
doing tech for SpongeBob? You must be a weirdo. And then I went and saw it, and I was like, oh man, I should like look him up. So I went on Tinder, searched his I searched SpongeBob because who else would I talk to like SpongeBob
And that's
with?
a guy who's dressed like SpongeBob.
Yeah, exactly, like nice SpongeBob costume.
Come on over.
But then I couldn't find him, so I guess he unmatched me because he got too famous, and that's my
Yeah.
biggest regret. So
Man,
I'm glad that SpongeBob has been both our biggest regrets, Katie.
you guys were such naysayers going in.
Yeah.
It was a big life lesson.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Never judge it
To match, standard operating procedure, I didn't learn a life lesson, and I went in excited and I left excited. It was nostalgic, but at the same time, it was just like genuinely enjoyable. And what better recipe is there for a successful show than those two things?
It was so good.
So good, and I knew it was going to be good going in.
You
I
knew?
also was like, Hey Jan, you and Liv need to see SpongeBob. It's so good.
That's a fair point, and I only just remembered that.
So don't pretend
You're right.
like you were super jazzed about it.
I knew all by myself because I
Dad
have
knows
incredible intuition.
He knows nothing about musicals. He just knew SpongeBob was going to be great.
Sensed it. Muse a noob except for SpongeBob.
Also, I want to say, though, that, like, if you listen to our podcast before, like, you know we're going to talk about the whole show, so there will be spoilers.
Oh, yeah, good call.
So if you want to, like, wait to see it till it's on Broadway, like, don't listen to this yet. Because we're talking about, like, the whole plot of it. Also, because we saw a preview of it, like, the plot points that we're talking about, like, will change. Probably. But, like, at least a tiny bit for the Broadway version, because stuff always changes. So they will, like, some stuff that we're talking about now, like, might not apply. They might, like, fix, like, problems that we talk about, or they might, like, change things that we love, just, like, make the story tighter or something like that. Mm-hmm. So we're definitely talking, like, just about the Chicago version.
Yep. And if that matters to you, just come on back in like 30, 40 minutes, and we'll jump right into the bits.
And we'll jump right into the bits. You can just fast forward.
Come on, go. Just scrub that thing over. Thank you for those reminders. And also, you reminded me that before we go into the play-by-play and the scene-by-scene, 1, 2, 3, nail it. Kevin's face.
Help.
Kevin's face.
Help me,
just
please.
lit with a fear
Did you
and
say
a
lit?
concern. Oh God, lit. I was the first one to say it.
Yeah, I know.
Co-conceived and directed by Tina Landau, who's a big Chicago name. She's like a member of Steppenwolf. She's directed like Tracy Letts plays on Broadway, and she is like a huge Chicago name and just a huge like name in theater. The book is, but I might be mispronouncing this. Kyle Jarrow,
Jarreau, maybe?
Jarreau.
Maybe? I
I'm
don't know.
so sorry,
Let me
Kyle, for not knowing you. But this is
Maybe
his
we will one
first
day.
musical. But he went to Yale, so he's very smart. Choreographer Christopher Gattelli, and he's a huge Broadway name. He's done shows like South Pacific, and he won the Tony in 2012 for Newsies.
I love that show.
Oh.
And
I'll be back.
Wait, say it like Arnold.
Oh, I was thinking Hey Arnold because of Nickelodeon. And I was like, I don't even remember
Fair.
how Arnold speaks.
Not an unfair association.
Okay.
Association.
I'll be back.
There we go. Nerdlet.
Continue.
mansplain continuing to me.
Don't continue explaining manning to me.
Don't mansplain interrupt.
I killed the last splain who man continued to me.
I killed the last man that can... I killed the last man that...
Anyway, Andy did the choreography for Altar Boys and Bat Boy the Musical, so he's a big deal. And like such a wide range of shows that he's done, like he really understands like character and storytelling through movement and all that stuff. And so then the music supervision was by Tom Kitt. And Tom Kitt is a big name as well. He did the music for Next to Normal and High Fidelity, and he was a music supervisor for American Idiot and the Sherry Renee Scott show, Everyday Rapture, shout out. And then the scenic and costume design, we have to say their names because it was so good, by David Zinn. He did that. And then lighting design by Kevin Adams, projections by Peter Negrini, and sound design by Walter Trarbach. Sorry, Walter. So, like, they're, like, gonna win Tonys. And so it premiered on June 7th, 2016 here in Chicago, and it's scheduled for Broadway in 2017. And since it's still, like, ongoing, that's pretty much, like, everything we can nerd out about.
Some interesting things there. I didn't realize. Well, actually, I didn't realize this first. I will say I didn't realize that the people who did like the lighting and the sound design, yes, but the costumes. I didn't realize that they would kind of stick around for the journey to Broadway and then still potentially win Tonys. Is that how it always works? Like the pre-Broadway?
I mean, usually,
carries on?
yeah, because like, to my knowledge right now, who knows? There's a long time before it goes to Broadway, but
Sure.
like most of the cast is gonna transfer too.
Oh, that's awesome.
If not all the cast and like the director and stuff. Like,
I figured they would just like recast the whole thing. Like, yep, we have a show. Let's just redo it all now.
I mean, sometimes they do to like try and get bigger names.
Oh, okay.
Of like the stars of the show, but I mean, right now, like everyone's doing it, and this cast like recorded an album, the cast album already.
Oh, nice.
So I'm pretty sure the intention is to keep everybody. And they were great, so I think they should.
I can see them replacing SpongeBob just to get a bigger name, but he was such a perfect SpongeBob.
He was so
I think
good.
they're
Just
gonna keep
nailed
him.
it.
They're definitely gonna keep him.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Ethan Slater, shout out.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so previews, right? So a lot of things like preview. I think someone was explaining this to me, but a lot of things preview like off Broadway or like in Chicago for some reason. Like what is that like? Like, can you not make it to Broadway? Like if you like suck and like, what is that?
Yeah, so this like almost every Broadway musical or show that goes to Broadway does this, because just opening on Broadway, like if something fails and it doesn't work, like you lose so much money. So like San Francisco and Chicago and like big cities like that oftentimes have trials of shows. Like San Francisco had Wicked before it went to Broadway.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because like just workshopping a musical is such a long progress. Like sometimes it's like 10 years. Like it's just so long usually. But like to get the story right and to get the show like in the place where it like can go to Broadway and like make money right away and like be a big hit and win Tonys.
People are already talking about it.
Yeah, and it just takes a lot of work to like a lot of times on its feet to like see it on stage and then change what's not working and stuff.
Yeah.
So if you do it out of town, it's like a more forgiving audience. It's just basically like every show workshops, and yes, like if it like fails in workshops, a lot of times like it won't go to Broadway because not everything can go to Broadway.
Sure.
So yeah, like off Broadway first is like they try it out there too, and then it goes to Broadway. So it's just like it's a really long process. It's just how it's done, and it's just part of it now because people don't want to like produce and invest in a show that's not going to make them money.
Right.
Yeah, makes sense.
And quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there a level below, like is there ever like you were in a really great musical recently, which I didn't get a chance to see like a year ago, but it had amazing reviews.
Thank you.
And yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome for not going. And then really great reviews is like the next step. Like we got a Chicago, like an on downtown Chicago show. Is that like the next step, or is that not happening?
Sure, it depends because there's like unfortunately there's not like a track record like here's exactly how you like, get to Broadway, and that's just part of the business. So people like workshop and they take it to like musical theater festivals and
there's like
do
film
like that
festival-esque music theater. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. There's a ton of stuff for new work like that. And so yeah, like you kind of just like do it and do readings, and then you kind of like take it to bigger and bigger theaters until like more and more people want to produce and more people with more money like pay attention to your show and say like we want to take it to the next level.
Oh, nice.
Stuff like that. So that the show that I was a part of is great, and they're like in rewrites right now for it. And then their goal was like, next time we're gonna like do it at like a more high profile
so you just try
theater.
One way to do it is just try to keep kind of moving up the chain and getting more and more people involved.
Exactly.
More money involved. Really.
Exactly. It's pretty much just we want a bunch of money the next time we do this, and then we want a bunch more the next time we do this.
Fair enough.
Just for like sets and costumes and lighting designers and the whole just
it makes for a better show, which ultimately makes for more money in the producer's pockets.
Yeah, that's what we want.
Yeah,
money for us.
The business of Broadway. Yeah.
Oh, well, that was awesome. Thank you for that look into not just a nerd alert into SpongeBob, but a nerd alert into off-Broadway shows, which I know like nothing about.
Yeah,
frankly,
it's cool.
So.
We can talk about like different processes.
Yeah.
Thank you, SpongeBob.
Yeah, thanks
Sponge.
SpongeBob. we enter the auditorium. And we think the show's about to begin, but wait! It doesn't begin.
There's a pre-show.
There's a little pre-show, and it's wonderful. So I actually went up at the beginning of the show. So Patchy the Pirate, who makes his appearance, I guess technically sings the theme song. I think, right, in the show. It's a pirate. Anyway, Patchy the Pirate kind of comes and
it's
goes
definitely
in
Patchy
the
the
show.
Pirate.
No,
Yeah.
So in the musical, they have a little like. He's got his own sort of fan club seat set up in the front that says like SpongeBob's #1, and there's all this just really awesome
just like
gear
every
and...
like piece of SpongeBob merch you can imagine.
Like every Happy Meal toy they've ever had.
Exactly.
Like you scour
everything.
the internet for hours and like they have it.
Yeah, and like they set up a seat as if this like could conceivably be just a really big SpongeBob fan who happened to come to the show at the same night as you.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know that's not what's happening, but you sort of hope that's what's happening.
You're sort of like, this is really,
As
really
a child,
fun.
that's what you know is happening.
You
That
can
it's
like
going
go
to be
up
for
and like
me.
look around. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's my scene.
And then, of course, Patchy the Pirate comes out, and he in the same way that he sort of interlaces and interspersed in the show, the television show, he kind of comes and goes in the musical as well. And he does he do a number at the start? No.
Not
he
the
just,
start.
Yeah, he just sort of shouts and
He's
talks
there,
about.
and then like two like fake
Yeah, and then the security
Yeah.
guards
security
come.
guards.
The
come in.
security guards aren't real. They're fake.
Oh, it's a costume. Wow.
Wow.
Whoa, whoa. But I love that. I love that initial part, and I'm sure other musicals have done it because it was sort of the moment for me, and this will get a little philosophical. But when you see these security guards come in, obviously, okay, they're obviously part of the show. Like, they're not. This is not some random dude. But this is the moment where you're allowed, as the viewer, to make a choice. Do you want to like elevate yourself into this absurd pseudo reality and just pretend like, yeah, those are real security guards, and Patchy the Pirate tried to break into the show? Or do you want to be a curmudgeon and be like, of course they're fake?
Yeah.
And so I, of course, made the choice to be a curmudgeon. No, not at all. I made the choice to be like, yeah, I'm in this. Those are now, in my head, real security guards, and they're really trying to kick this random Patchy the Pirate out of here.
I love that. You just
Yeah.
like get on board to have fun.
Yeah.
And it like so that way you don't have to jump into being like, oh, that's a man. He's dressed as a sponge. I guess he's a sponge. Oh,
That's
he's
true.
Sour friend. Cool. But it like eases you into it, which I
Cool,
like.
cool. Yeah.
It was a really nice introduction. I hope they don't change that. They'll probably tweak it a little, but I hope they don't change the notion of that.
I agree. I thought it was a great choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we break into the title song.
Bring into the whole world.
It's such a great song.
So good.
The best thing about it is he wakes up in the morning and he does his classic like SpongeBob stretches, and he's walking through town and you're like getting introduced to all the characters you were hoping to see.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's so delightful.
The costumes of like everyone that they made, like they just have the exact same silhouettes that they're drawn as cartoon characters. Like, it's such cool design. If their body is like triangular, then their dress is triangular.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
they did an amazing job.
Yeah, and I wanted to talk about that too because when I heard about the show, I was like, are they going to be like in full costume? Because that's
Like an
going to be
inflatable SpongeBob.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, because that's going to be kind of tough for me.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
And they were not. They were just in like almost like they were definitely hyper reality, but you could almost see everything everyone was wearing as like normal clothing.
Yeah.
Obviously it was weird, but it was like
It was like minimal, but also like just exactly what you needed to understand who it was, but also just like so smart the way that they did it.
It was, I agree with you. Like, they still looked like humans.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
they weren't trying to be like, you're exactly a fish. It wasn't like
You are a
cats.
squirrel.
Where they like drew like cat makeup on their
Yeah.
face.
or like Shrek, I think the Shrek the musical.
Yeah.
they make Shrek,
They
and
like
you're just
did
kind of like,
prosthetics, and
this
you're
is
like,
weird because
this is a
there's
lot.
like a foam thing around this man's face.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I wanted to go back to a point that Dan was making. Ethan Slater, who plays SpongeBob, that's his name, right?
yeah.
All right, Ethan Slater, who plays SpongeBob.
Christian Slater.
Christian
Son.
Slater.
E.T.
Christian
Slater.
Bale. Just does a great job as Batman. Anyways, Ethan Slater has like the hardest job, I think, in those first like 5 seconds to make you, because everyone has so many expectations coming in, being
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I watched SpongeBob my whole life. If this guy sucks, then like I'm out of here.
Yeah.
But I think just like in that first like minute where he's just kind of doing his own thing as SpongeBob, you get the sense that this is going to be SpongeBob and you're going to like it. And I appreciate that. Thanks, Ethan.
Yeah, and
I agree.
I completely agree, and the way he was able, I want to know what his like pre-show process is, because he starts the show. I may be mistaken here, so don't quote me, but I believe he starts the show like laying down and like because he's waking up in the morning, and to just burst into all that insane energy, he must have been like just clenching everything, every muscle in his body,
He's a
and
very
then,
talented
letting
dude.
it go.
Yeah.
Because it's tough. I mean, you're at the start of a show, you're nervous, like. Just to jump into that crazy over-the-top SpongeBob energy,
He's ready.
he really got it, and I'm sure he did that, night in and night out. You saw it twice. Was it like the same energy
it was
level?
the same. The laugh was there. Everything was there. Oh, Gary.
Oh my gosh.
The role
So
of Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a surprise. I thought Gary was gonna be a human too, but it wasn't.
I'm glad he wasn't because
I
it's
agree.
like, why is Gary talking? I guess. Although it would have been kind of funny to just see a man who doesn't, or a woman
And
who
just
doesn't
meow.
talk, and
Yeah.
just meows and walks around in this weird snail costume. Oh man, that'd be pretty good.
That's an official note for you.
Yeah, that's right. So,
you
so
need
get like a really sad-looking person who just their shoulders are sort of up by their ears and they're just walking around really unhappily, meowing.
Like, imagine the SpongeBob like audition like for SpongeBob. Where it's
Yeah.
just like, can you laugh like SpongeBob? And they just like went around the room like taking people out and being like, get out of here. Get out.
Probably.
Get out
You're
of here.
dead.
Yeah.
You're
So
dead to me.
upsetting.
You'll never make it in this town.
As a SpongeBob, specifically, as a talking sponge,
You'd be great for Into the Woods though. Like, don't give up.
go for Little Red Riding Hood. Yeah, so just it's a great. I mean, they kind of knew they had to do it. You're wondering what are the costumes going to be like? What characters are going to be in the show? And so right off the bat, they're not everyone, but they're starting to introduce you to like, okay,
Yeah.
here's going to be Pearl, and here's going to be Mr. Krabs and
That's great.
Patrick and Squidward. Ooh,
That's
Squidward
great.
blew my mind. Anyway, we'll talk about that later.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah.
Anything else about the opening number?
No, it's great. It's the only song that I like still have in my head. Very catchy.
Yeah.
It's like only a tune I remember. Not to say that the other songs were amazing, just this one is like a great opening.
Well, and a theme
Yeah.
song or a title song is supposed to like
Yeah.
stick in your head,
For
right?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who
it
wrote that
introduces
one?
the world really well. It says by Jonathan Colton.
Oh, okay. So that's one thing we haven't yet talked about. I don't know. We're going to talk about it more later, I think, in more detail. But this, for being an off-Broadway show, it has some very high-profile names on it.
Yeah.
Well, I think the intention for Nickelodeon always was for it to go to Broadway.
Sure.
So they like
Yeah, but it wasn't
they got
just,
big names
They
because it's a big
stacked it.
project.
Yeah.
Um.
But yeah, like names like John Legend and Sarah Bareilles and
Oh yeah.
Plain White Tees for all their worth.
I
And-
mean, I watched there's some videos about the show on YouTube, and Tina was talking about like the collaboration process, and Tom Kitt was talking about it, and they were like, we very specifically chose like the pop star for like a very specific point in the show.
it makes sense.
So like
Perfect sense.
like
yeah.
they chose like a David Bowie song for like kind of like a freaky
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
scary part of the show because like David
David
was
Bowie.
pretty freaky, man, you know. And so
Did you hear me loud and clear, man? Can we
Shout
we
out to
review
Flight
of the Conchords?
please.
I think it's technically a
They're
musical,
my
right?
favorite. Yes.
Saw them live last week.
I've never seen. or
Talk about
heard
that.
them.
What? Oh, we'll talk about that offline.
Alright.
Kevin, there's like musical comedy at its finest.
I know. I'm in the music improv program at second season.
Anyway,
yeah,
but
well-
they were saying like they very specifically like chose each person for a reason.
Yeah.
And it really showed, and I thought like the songs were great, and also like Tom Kitt did a good job of like making everything sound cohesive still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it still sounded like it was all from the same show, and it was all from the same score, and like it made sense in the story and
Yeah, it absolutely did. Yeah,
all
I
that
don't.
stuff.
I didn't know that was the case. That so many big names. And frankly, had I just
Sure.
watched the show and not seen the playbill beforehand, I would have just been like, "Yeah, this is just the music for the show. It's really
Yeah.
good, by
Yeah.
the way." But I wouldn't have known.
Yeah. Done.
Tom Kitt for a Spring Fling Queen.
All right, so sort of at the end of the opening number, we've got SpongeBob at the Krusty Krab talking about how he can't wait to be manager one day, which is of course just a common theme with the
Yeah,
show
this is,
itself.
like,
He
the
always
plot
wants
of
to
it.
run the show,
Yeah.
but then the big thing happens. The trouble.
Yeah.
What do you call that?
Ruh-roh.
What do you
They
call
said
that
a
in
tremor.
The
storytelling?
inciting
Oh.
incident.
Yeah, there you
Very
go.
good,
Yeah.
Boom.
Kevin.
Yeah.
Inciting incident. There's a tremor.
Ah. And it's scary, y'all.
Yeah.
They do a good job. I think like it turns kind of red and
Oh my gosh, the lighting is insane, amazing in the
really
show.
good.
Yeah. Shout out
Really,
to that
really
guy on Tinder.
I don't think he designed it, but yes.
I don't care.
he did a great
He
job
might have queued it up.
executing it.
Yeah, he might have been running the board. You never know.
Yeah.
You're gonna date him by the end of this show.
Yeah,
By the
well.
end of this, the recording, somehow he's
Oh my
gonna
God.
know that this is happening.
He's gonna come out here like with a boombox. and
Yeah.
just be like-
Kevin,
Playing the SpongeBob soundtrack.
yeah. And I'll be like, what is that?
and he'll have a flashlight. Just kind
Since
of
I
flickering
work on it.
off. It's because I did the lighting. Do you get it?
I'm very good at tech.
Get out of here, you weirdo. That's what I'll say. And then I'll regret it all over
And then
again.
you'll regret it for the rest of your
That's
life.
right.
Yes.
I swiped left, right? Which one's good?
Right.
Right is
Right.
good.
Ugh, I'm in a relationship. Ugh.
So moving somewhat quickly.
Big tremor. It's scary.
Yeah, and then the mayor comes out shortly thereafter.
Maybe we will get a little political tonight. Who
Well,
knows?
actually, yes. The mayor is a big doofus, and I think that's funny. Like,
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
just like throws out buzzwords, like,
She's like,
yes,
Yeah.
things, code 0, or
We'll have a
threat level
meeting
yellow.
to set the
Yes,
agenda
that's what it
for
is.
the meeting for tomorrow's preparations.
Yeah.
for-
Just showing how many, how many politicians are really just doofuses. Like, I don't know what to say, so I'm gonna say words that hopefully people acknowledge.
Yeah, I also
Heyo.
thought the mayor had like such a weirdly huge role for like being someone that you never met in the cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
that's
I guess
true.
like
You needed
makes
someone like
sense.
that, I guess.
Yeah, it made sense in the story.
Yeah.
And I was actually wondering that. I was trying to think back to my SpongeBob days. Like, is there a mayor? And I feel like maybe once there's a
Yeah,
mayor.
I think they might have like talked about it.
Yeah.
but-
That might be something that they could not do away with, but maybe give that role to Perch Perkins, like the newscaster instead.
I think they just needed something to tie the like narrative together, and
No, I
that
think it
was
makes sense. I think it was a good choice.
Yeah.
I'm on board.
Well,
I love the newscaster as well. That
Yeah, he was
really
fantastic.
Yeah, he was
Perch
really
so
good.
funny.
I think it's a woman in the show, so there you go.
Maybe.
Good work doing.
typical.
But you know what? Since we're talking about it, let's also talk about the casting of this musical, because there was such great diversity on that stage and such great representation.
Yeah.
Like, they're like just like it was so great.
Yeah, they did a good job of not making it sort of all white, frankly.
Like, it was the most diverse
Oh,
cast
yeah.
I think I've seen in a long time. That wasn't like Hamilton, where like the point of it. Like,
Yeah.
I just thought like it was a town, and so like great, like all these different people and body types and whatever were represented. It was great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we get introduced to the mayor. Plankton comes out, and he's got his whole plan. And we're moving really fast here.
Yeah,
but
of course. There's an
Yeah.
evil plan for Plankton.
Yeah,
We
there's an
get
evil
it.
plan. So he decides he's going to hypnotize the town into liking the Chum bucket. Surprise, surprise. That's what he always does.
Yeah.
But he says he's going to do that by transporting them in his Chum bucket out of town.
Woo.
Woo woo. And then I feel like that's where T.I.'s rap comes in. Isn't it?
Yes. Hey, SpongeBob the Musical, if you could just put up a YouTube tutorial of the T.I. dance
Yes.
from Plankton, that'd be great, and then we can just do flash mobs everywhere.
What
Oh
a
my gosh,
great
we'll start
marketing
like a hashtag
campaign.
challenge.
We'll do a hashtag
Boom.
challenge
Yes.
for you
Hashtag do the plankton
for free tickets.
for tickets.
But also quickly, we got to talk about the BFF song.
Oh, yes.
Because
How
there
could I
were
have forgotten?
such good bits
Thank
with
you.
that like sofa.
Oh,
with the
Oh, it's
accordion
amazing.
sofa.
The accordion sofa was
I
so
want
cool.
one of those.
They
I can't believe
like
I forgot
really
that.
exist, and they're just like moving in all these different shapes. It was
So
like
good.
great bits.
Yeah, so like to illustrate it in your minds maybe. So it starts like as a normal chair, or so you
Oh, wow.
think.
Yeah.
And then they like pull it out because it's like an accordion. It's like a bunch of paper folded in on itself, or cardboard probably,
Yeah.
or a real material.
Yeah, well.
And then like it's like huge, and it's like a slinky, and they're driving it at one point, and
Yeah,
at one
so
point it's
cool.
a jacuzzi. There's so many cool things that would happen there.
So the coolest thing I thought about the accordion chair, well, the fact that it exists was the coolest thing. The way it was choreographed, if I'm remembering correctly, like they were doing these incredible shapes that were clearly pre-planned, but they just sort of totally seemed like two like a sponge and a starfish just
Yeah.
hanging out,
Just
like doing
best
random
pals,
things.
like
Yeah.
playing
Yeah.
and doing goofs. Like
Yeah.
it was so
Yeah, it was so good. It was like here's like how the shape you need to end up in, but how you end up
Yeah.
there, we don't care.
Yeah,
really
they're
cool.
Yeah, their characters
And
are just
also-
like so well developed.
The dancing BFF, like that was also a good bit, mostly because it was just like,
Oh,
oh, they're
yes.
backwards, and like it was just like so dumb and fun that I loved it.
So then they need to. I think we've gone into where they need to raise the money because Plankton's charging them or whatever, and the town doesn't have enough money, so they decide they're gonna raise the money. Is that where we are now?
It's like Plankton like started this conspiracy that they had to like get in the
Oh, they
the
need a
Chum
rocket
bucket.
ship.
Chum bucket.
They need a rocket ship to
Right,
like
they're
get
gonna
away
get 'em to a
from
new
the
town.
earthquake.
So they need to raise money for that.
So yeah, so that's why he wants to hypnotize them or whatever. That's what
And
he
then
talks
once they're
about.
all in one place, he's going to
gonna
hypnotize
hypnotize.
them.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yep. So then they need to raise the money, so they decide they're gonna do a concert, right?
Oh yeah, the electric skate.
Well, and poor Squidward though. Before the electric skates, he he asks like, "Can I just play clarinet for the show?" And everyone's
And
just
everyone's like,
"No,
no one's gonna pay for that.
no, because you suck."
You're a bummer.
Which is an amazing trope and another thing that I'm so glad they brought into the musical.
Yes.
Because they did some different things with Squidward, but they kept a lot of his like key components, which was great.
So we were so good. Gavin Lee is so good.
He's incredible. There's I'll wait to talk about this.
Okay.
So they denied that he's gonna play it, and then Pearl says that she's going to, or that we should do the electric skates, but that they don't come in yet.
Right. Pearl's awesome though. Am I allowed to talk about this now?
Yeah. Then we go into like the town panicking, and that's when we hear "Daddy Knows Best," which is like the penultimate song I think before the second act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that song is so good because who plays her? Emmy Raver Lampman. She's so good as Pearl.
Incredible.
I was just so upset she didn't have her own song.
Like she needs her own song.
She was amazing.
Her voice is the coolest voice I've ever heard. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
She's such a good actor. Like
and
so
she
great.
like during that show she kind of like comes closer to the audience, and you're just sort of like mesmerized, like, oh my god, you're
such a
amazing.
star.
Yeah.
No.
She's also looks like she's like 10 feet tall on stage.
Yeah.
She's Pearl.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was so good. And fun fact, she was in Hamilton, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
really?
she's in it right now.
That makes sense.
While like SpongeBob is on hiatus, like she's in it again. Yeah.
Oh, well,
So
I
she's
just went and
just
saw it. Maybe
killing
I
it
saw
over
her.
there.
Well, not in Chicago, on Broadway.
Oh, on Broadway. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, she was incredible. I think in a cast that was incredibly talented, but maybe not a ton of super powerful vocally.
Yeah.
Definitely a few, but in a cast with some just okay vocals, she was like shining. Yeah, a couple people, and I think maybe it's part of the character. Like Mr. Krabs was awesome, but not incredibly powerful vocalist. Although he had to do this voice the whole time.
Yeah.
So I can't give him too.
I think the song also like just showcased her. Like she was able to just like basically like belt out the last like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, all right.
But
Really,
even
really
like
good.
even like just like low notes, I don't know. It's just like she was so impressive.
Yeah.
Like her voice is so cool.
Yeah. I think that's gonna go down as an underrated song, probably that Daddy Knows Best song. But that's it's a great for
Depending on who
But give her a
who
bigger
plays
part,
it.
like-
yeah.
Like I think depending on who plays it, that song is either gonna be like hit or miss, and
Yeah.
like good luck whoever does it in the future.
But like make Emmy playing Pearl like the main part. Like it was
Make it Pearl the Musical.
Just
There you go.
Pearl. She was so good.
Just before Act 1 ends,
Oh yeah.
SpongeBob wants to go with Patrick and Sandy,
Yes,
and they're going to
yes.
save the world. Patrick's going to be the strong man. Sandy's going to be the brains. And poor SpongeBob doesn't know. He doesn't bring anything to the table. That's what he says.
Are we gonna learn?
Yeah.
But they convince him that he's going to contribute something. They just don't know yet. And they do Heroes My Middle Name. Nice little number.
Very cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah, it is pretty Lauper-esque. Slay. And then we go into intermission. Anything else in Act 1? Great introduction.
Now that I remember, yeah.
Actually, the last song, I was wrong. The last song is Tomorrow Is.
Yeah.
The last song in Act 1.
Yeah.
My bad.
No, that's okay. It's
Yeah,
been
they
a
do
while.
have the fight, and then they sing Tomorrow Is. Sandy sings that
separately.
one.
Yeah.
Or mainly because she's trying to tell SpongeBob, like, yeah, things are bad right now with Patrick, but...
And then everyone comes in and they're all like, "Oh no, tomorrow."
Oh, there
Les
it is.
Mis.
Yeah. That's their one day more, basically.
There one day more. But one thing that I thought was like one thing that I was like not as huge of a fan of about this show was the sardines.
Yes.
Really?
I just thought it was strange. The movement was cool and like I liked it from a choreography standpoint, but I didn't think it was necessary, and I didn't think that like there needed to be another conflict in the story, and they just like added time onto it that like didn't need to be there.
Yeah, I also
see that.
I saw it twice and I don't think the jokes landed. There was one sardine that was just really funny, and then the rest I was kind of like, okay.
That's
cool.
how I felt too. I was like, this is fine. Like, it doesn't like ruin anything,
Right.
but also like it's unnecessary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess it did, thinking back, it did feel a little like this is our first show we wrote, and this is a funny bit. Like, obviously, it's not. The rest of it is incredible, but that's like, we had this really funny idea that didn't really land, but we wanted to keep it. And I can see that.
That's what it seemed like. Like, they in rehearsal, like, had a great time with it.
Right. Yeah.
But
they
then,
kept
like,
it in because everyone loved it.
Yeah, like, all the actors, like, loved doing it.
Yeah.
But it just seemed like, from an outsider perspective, it wasn't the most necessary.
Yeah, and then you kind of you like forget, like, oh, they're supposed to be like sardines, and they like group together because that's what sardines do.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, oh, okay. Cool.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, in the wake of the sort of political ecosystem right now,
True.
I like it because it's like
yeah.
Patrick is clearly we
meeting.
know is the dumbest person, and he said a dumb thing, and then like people were like, "Yes, I love that thing you said because it was simple and easy to understand." But maybe not necessary.
So maybe if they like make it more political, then like
right.
Yeah.
And, like,
maybe
not
they need
try
to
and like
choose
make
there.
it this like comedy bit.
Yeah,
and, like,
that's
sure.
a good point. Yeah, and I think to kind of what you just said, they need to maybe they're trying to tackle too many like
I just felt like they
hyperbolize
have,
too many issues.
Like they have the external conflict of like the Tremor coming for the town.
Yeah.
And then they have the external conflict of like Plankton, which I guess they don't know about and they're not actively fighting against, but like it's there.
Yeah.
I just didn't feel like they needed to have a fight and
That's
like
true.
And there's SpongeBob's like internal conflict of just being like, I'm
he's
not
like, who am
enough
I?
for all of this. And then like now he's fighting with his best friend.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And it was like, why?
Right.
Which like I don't know, it's fine. It's fine. I don't
It's
know.
just not necessary.
Yeah.
Yep. Especially, and we'll get to it, the resolution to that conflict is so convenient that it's just like, you could probably just cut it.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to in a bit. It's
To like tighten it up.
right.
Yeah.
So now
But we forgot about it, so
Yeah, exactly. That's actually great. Like we thought it sort of ended at a logical point and not before one more conflict. Just, wait, let's get one more conflict in there. So now curtains.
So now more bits
and now we're
that
back
were
to
amazing. With the pirate.
Yeah.
this song. So again, we are sort of taken out of the show to Patchy's bit.
So freaking fun.
Patchy
So
comes
fun.
on like he's pretending to sell, what is that news?
Oh yeah, he's trying to sell. Isn't he trying to sell playbills or something?
I
Programs?
forgot.
No, I don't forget what I don't remember.
And then he's like in a Chicago Bulls like
Oh.
jacket.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I have the perfect plan, and you're like, what is this ruckus across the aisle from me? And then it's Patchy.
Patchy.
It's
he
so
sneaks
cute.
back in and-
He sings a song about like how hard it is to be a pirate, and it's just like the cutest little parody, and like the whole cast comes out as pirates.
Thank you, Sarah
except for
Bareilles.
one.
Yes, thank you, Sarah.
Except for one
Bareilles.
who's dressed as a Pittsburgh pirate.
Yeah.
Which is so good.
It's just like that is comedy gold.
so good.
Yeah.
So good.
So funny.
And so it's all about like the plight of the pirate in today's society and how they're not respected and they're like they're stereotyped, and it's just like so absurd but like so also applicable to so many different cultures.
It's just a great song.
Yeah, they really did a great job. And Sarah Bareilles doing it was the one song where like, this does not sound like Sarah Bareilles. It was like a sea shanty.
Yeah, she makes a sea shanty. You haven't heard Sarah Bareilles' famous sea shanties?
Her whole album of sea shanties.
Sea shanties by Sarah.
Sarah Bareilles
I would
takes
die
the
for
sea.
that album.
She sings shanties by the sea. Sarah
Sarah sings sea shanties by
Sarah Bareilles.
Sarah Bareilles.
The reason that I haven't heard it is because she does it under the pen name Sierra Chillaris. That didn't
You
work.
tried hard.
Yeah, I had.
Hey guys, that was supposed to be a joke. I don't
had,
know what
like,
happened.
Instead of you just add an E.
We're checking
They
his
can't
pulse
tell
right
me
now.
winners. I'm sorry.
And then,
Oh no, he's foaming at
and
the
then
mouth.
Bareilles.
Oh,
Goodbye, Dan. So Kevin, you want to do this podcast
Yeah.
with me? Cool.
hello. This
Hello.
is Musicals. We're
Kevinson.
Musicals with
No!
Musicals. Oh
The
no,
show
he's
must
alive.
go on.
Oh my god, he came back
Bad
as a
jokes
zombie.
be damned. I will continue.
I still love you, pal.
All right,
Musical.
Musical.
You can't even say it back.
Oh
Love
my
you
gosh.
too.
Thank you.
When we do Newsies, can we call it Newsy Pals?
No.
Don't give away our bits.
Okay. Pretend you didn't hear that.
Yes, we can, and we will.
All right, so we finished
Stay
up
tuned for
Patchy's.
next week's episode.
Yeah.
Newsies.
So then, Pirate's done. I think he gets arrested again by security.
Yeah, he does. He gets kicked out. But great song.
And then we start the show.
And it's
also
so
a cute thing about intermission, though, can I say? They had, like, some of the band on stage, and then, like, definitely an orchestra in the pit, but they had some band on stage, like, playing, and, like, the conductor was, like, playing the kazoo with them, and it was just, like, so fun.
I forgot about that. They had some people in the wings, kind of, like, in the weird contraptions they had. Yeah. All right, so then we open the curtains, and speaking of the lighting design, your future husband, it just transitions to like the streets are in chaos and destruction.
Yeah, just like utter chaos.
But it's like red, and like the set has been almost like destroyed because the town is in utter chaos.
Yeah,
it's cool. It's fun.
Good idea.
Destruction.
Yeah.
Fun.
It's fun. It's oversized hat. And we do, because this is where we do Bikini Bottom Day, the reprise, and it's like a little bit darker and a little bit like more minor key. And now we get to see, after a couple of things, we get to see, first of all, Squidward wanting to open for the band. And they're like, yeah, but give us like this list of a million things. And
he's
so
like, all right, I'll do it.
Yeah, he's like, I'll do it.
So he starts on his little journey.
Oh, did we talk about Squidward's costume yet?
Well, that's coming next. That's his next
It's
bit.
a secret.
Yeah, that's right. That's
You
right.
don't see it until next.
That's right. Oh, his normal costume? I thought you meant like his
also his normal
jazzy
costume.
But how they do
Let's just cover it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Squidward's an octopus, y'all.
He's a squid.
Squidward's a squid.
Octopus word.
Isn't it a type
So
of octopus?
So SpongeBob is a loofah. I don't know if you guys know this.
So Squidward has more than 2 legs is the point. And so how they did this in his costume was really cool.
Yeah. Mrs. Puff is a cereal puff. Sorry.
You're a big bummer. And so how they did it was they like there was like an extra like pair of like stuffed legs behind like the actor's legs that was like sewn into the pants, and so they would bend when he moved his legs, so it looked like he had.
It was amazing.
There were like a few moments
so
there
smart.
where I remember like going like, wait, is there maybe someone behind him somehow? Like I knew there wasn't, but it was like those are really like well animated.
Oh yeah, and also the sound. Every time they stepped, whenever SpongeBob was taking steps or whenever Squidward was taking steps, it had all the sound effects. And there's just one guy like watching the screen being like, they're stepping now.
Sound design needs to be a freaking category again in the Tonys.
I know, I can't believe they got rid of it.
I didn't know it was.
You didn't?
Or wasn't. We're at the Bikini Bottom Boogie.
Oh yeah.
Which is sung by the Electric Skates, which is a hair band who's on roller skates. Which is so cool that Steven Tyler is the one who writes that song, because it's like, wow, they are trying to be Aerosmith.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was like fun and cute, and Pearl is so jazzed.
Yeah,
and they they do like skateboarding on stage, and those actors looked terrified.
I would cut that. That felt just uncomfortable for me. It felt
the actors
uncomfortable
were
for
so
them.
scared. I think if they practiced it more and like felt very comfortable, it would be really cool.
Yeah.
But the actors looked so scared.
Yeah, they were.
Like,
they're like literally anything could go wrong.
Yeah.
And I could A, be injured or B,
and
just
it's just like very
make
hard.
the show look dumb.
Yeah.
Like fall into the audience and it's like, oops. Well.
Yeah.
But they just. I could feel their anxiety.
Yeah, it didn't work for me, but you're right. Maybe if they
just need a lot more practice.
Yeah. Give those kids some Heelys or something.
Yes.
It might have been interesting if they, in the Broadway show, they sort of attach them to wires or something, and they like way over exaggerate the moves. That would be fun.
That would be.
Like,
fun.
Shoot them up, and they're doing weird backflips and stuff. That would be fun.
Oh, that would be really cool.
And then you don't have to worry about them being nervous because they're literally.
Yeah. Then they don't have to anything to fuck up their bodies.
Or maybe if they got like aerial actors to like do like aerial stunts,
like Cirque du Soleil,
like on silks,
things,
like on many silks.
Yeah, there's just a few things that I think with a little more money they could have probably done.
I don't even think it was money. I think they probably had enough money. I think it's a cool idea, but
they just haven't heard our ideas yet.
Yeah, they just need some notes,
and they know that, and they know they need to come to Musicals first.
Yeah,
and we did them a disservice by taking so long to review the musical.
I know.
Rule number 1.
I don't even truly remember Chop to the Top.
How could you not?
It was the one where they were like fighting their way up this box mountain.
And it
Oh
was
my
ladders.
gosh, was that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're on ladders.
I remember the ladders.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
so
That was
cool.
impressive as hell.
It was awesome. These people who like clearly like they're not acrobats are doing some like weird acrobatic moves.
You think? I think they look so athletic. Like
Well,
that was
yeah,
so
but
impressive.
I don't think their day job is
Yeah.
acrobatics. I think their day job is starring in musicals.
Fair.
But
fair,
yeah,
fair,
it's
fair.
so cool.
Yeah, I did not. The song like just felt very out of place. I do like Lady Antebellum. I've seen them in concert. But it was just like, oh, this is like very weird and not like as motivational or like not what I need right now in the
I don't
musical.
remember
Yeah,
the
I
song.
agree. I agree.
Yeah.
But the action, so cool.
Yeah.
dude.
yeah, really cool.
So cool.
Yeah.
Well,
I think-
frankly, the song felt like a Lady Antebellum song, like cold and empty and
Yes.
sad.
yes.
Like it just wasn't there.
Yeah.
Frankly, I agree with you. But the actual bit was great.
Yeah.
I hope they keep that.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't even describe how cool it was.
Yeah. SpongeBob, Ethan
Ethan
Slater was kind of like jumping in, like sliding in between the rungs. It was like, whoa, this guy knows how to.
Was
jump.
this the one where he was like climbing to the center of the
Not yet.
volcano?
Not
yet.
just yet,
So it was
but-
just with the packing boxes.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
design was so cool in that way too. Like, maybe we can talk about it after. Just like what they made the set out of was like really inventive.
Yeah, you know what? We can talk about that later, but we'll talk about it now. I watched like a little behind the scenes video today. And they were
Yes.
talking about how they wanted all of the set to, as much as they could, make it seem like things that could feasibly sink to the bottom of the sea, like used water bottles and cans. And so that's kind of like what their goal was, and that's why there's like randomly bowling balls
It was so great.
in the contraption that's around.
Yeah.
Such a cool idea. Like,
Yeah.
let's only do this with things, or mostly do this with things that could fall or sink to the bottom of the sea.
It's so smart.
Yeah.
It's just so smart. Like the set, like when you walk in, it just looks like they like went like wild in a party city. Like
Yeah.
it's just like made of like floaties and like all these
Noodles
like
and-
just like those pool noodles, and it was so cool. And then like out of the volcano, they did it with like packing boxes, but it like still looked like it.
Yeah.
It was just like
Yeah.
so inventive.
And the Sandy and SpongeBob are falling. They're stuck in a crack, and Patrick gets on a jetpack and flies and
Oh,
saves
yeah.
them.
What the hell?
He saves them.
That's what I was
Sorry,
talking
it was
about.
the weirdest.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Where that conflict is a result. Like, I love cartoons. That's how cartoons are, right? Like,
Yeah.
conflict comes
Yeah.
about, and they're like, "Oh, I wish I had a hammer. Oh, here's a hammer.
Here it
right?
is.
Like,
Yeah.
that's how cartoons are, and I love that. But this one was like seemingly too convenient for me. It was like,
Yeah.
I'm sad I didn't go. Good thing I have this jetpack.
Yeah.
And I can fly up to them. Oh, look, they're dying. Let me help.
Oh
them.
yeah, and then he saves them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh,
it
with
was
the
a little.
stretchy hand from SpongeBob. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
SpongeBob has a stretchy hand.
Done. Period. Stop.
In the show.
Now that you understand.
Yep.
We can move on.
All right. So now we're on what ended up being one of my favorite numbers, which is I'm not a
Yes.
loser.
So freaking good.
Mm-hmm.
Just like this guy who played Squidward, who as Squidward you think like, oh, he's probably not talented. Like he probably is just like a regular. They could cast anyone because Squidward just talks like this. Like that's easy. And the whole show, you have no reason to believe
you
why this
think?
character is good at all.
Oh, I disagree, but continue.
Well, I thought so. Like you have no reason to. There's no proof to me that this is like a good, not the character, but the person playing it. This is a good actor or a good singer. And then he does this song, and he's singing, and he's tap dancing, and he's got this crazy costume on, and the number the stage completely changes, and you're like, oh, actually, turns out he's one of the most talented people in this show, and he was incredible. Absolutely loved it.
Okay, so Gavin Lee, he was the original Bert in Mary Poppins on Broadway.
What?
Ah.
And I saw him in London in Top Hat, which is a remake of the what's his name? Fred Astaire movie. So he's fucking talented.
Yeah.
But I thought his character work was like so good. But I guess like not.
Well, probably because you knew who he was, you could tell that that's what he was doing. I have no
True.
idea who this guy
But
is.
I think everyone like, it's just like, it takes like talent to be able to like create like physicality
Absolutely.
like that
Yeah.
for like everyone in the show, and like he was just like so very Squidward that
Yeah, you're right.
V talented. But I guess I can
Yeah.
see what you mean. But
For someone
like,
who knows nothing about this stuff, like, there's no outward reason that, like, there's no outbursts or anything like that where you're like, oh wow, he's really talented until now.
this like the number is so impressive. It's this like huge like glitzy, glamorous, like just musical theater tap number. Just
He's
like
freaking tap dancing.
Yeah.
yeah,
up
with
there.
4 legs.
With 4 legs.
Does he not have 6 legs? Oh,
Or-
no.
It's
'Cause
just
2 hands.
4.
Okay.
2
Oh.
hands. Yeah.
Wait, why wouldn't he have 8 though?
No,
Shouldn't he
because
have
squids
8?
have 6.
Squids have 6. There it is. There it is.
See?
It's hard.
It's
Mr.
hard.
Krabs is a lobster. We didn't mention that the SpongeBob is climbing on the ladders because what we learned about SpongeBob not having a superpower, Patrick is strength, Sandy's brains. SpongeBob's power or talent is to keep everyone happy.
Managerial skills.
That's
Yes.
right, managerial skills.
He can achieve his dreams.
Keep everyone
He's very organized.
enthusiastic. That's right.
Yes.
And so that's why they decide that like he's the one that needs to put, and I think like they can't fit or something like that.
Yeah, he's small.
Yeah. Anyway, so then we do that, and my favorite sort of piece of the of the plot is that they throw the device into the volcano, and then you still have to wait 7 minutes. Not real 7 minutes, but it's like
Yeah,
the
showtime.
volcano's not supposed to go off for another 7
Yeah.
minutes. So they just head on back down.
They're like, well,
guess we'll leave.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah.
Like what story ever? The climax happens, and then it's like, well, we'll see what happens in a minute.
They have to be with the rest of their town.
It was a
true.
good bit. It was a good
I
bit.
loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I mean, like the next part is like it's just so heartwarming because the whole town is like holding each other and they're like they're
Yes.
counting down and they don't know what's going to happen
Yeah.
and then it's like 3, 2, 1, and then like does it start snowing or something? I want to say something weird happens.
I
Maybe
think
it's the
something
light.
happens.
Yeah, the lighting probably just goes crazy again. I don't
Yeah.
remember, but yeah.
But
was
like then
hectic.
it like it's best day ever and it's just like oh my god they all survived
Oh
and
my gosh,
everyone loves
it's
each other.
So happy.
Yeah.
Who did Best Day Ever? Is that someone we know?
Isn't it? It's from the SpongeBob movie, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
I think so.
Oh,
don't
that's
know.
cool.
Yeah, it was like familiar to me before we
Okay,
saw it. So
that's cool.
It says here, Andy Bailey.
Oh, and Tom Kenny.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I have it on here as
Oh,
well.
cool.
Yeah,
I can't pronounce names. I'm sorry, guys.
yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, I think
great
it was in the
song
movie.
though. And then we reprise Bikini Bottom Day. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
So
Oh my God, so
fun.
fun.
And then it's such a great moment where they involve the audience, and then when they come out for the
Yeah.
bows, it's like, hey, audience, everyone knows this song, and
Yeah.
everyone
Oh.
together sings
Yeah.
Lives
the
in a
theme
pineapple
song,
under
which
the
we heard at the
sea.
beginning of this app.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything
It's
else?
so fun, guys. Come on.
So fun.
Yeah, I think we
I'm
did
dying
it,
to
come
see
on.
it again.
but we didn't do it justice by doing the scene by scene because there's so many lines and so many bits that we've missed here.
Yeah, there's so
So-
many little like really freaking funny bits.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't want to spoil it, but you were dying to hear the Musipals review it, like, we really have. We've obviously spoiled the plot, but there's still so much like
Yeah.
delight.
But
in
also,
it.
Yeah.
like, they're gonna succeed in the end. So, like,
Right,
we didn't
right.
really
Yeah.
spoil too much.
It's that episode of SpongeBob where everyone dies.
Everyone dies. It's a tragedy.
they're gonna win.
Will you join me? One,
Once.
two. I realize that the one and once is one. I'll count to 3.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Once you pop the show tune, don't stop. Ah. See that?
Guys, that was so good.
Thank you.
But also the first time they tried
On the
it.
first try. Yeah.
The first
We
time
did it
they
the
tried
first time.
this is the second time.
Giving it away,
The
Kevin.
first
The
time.
second
Shut
first
up,
time.
Kevin.
It was perfect.
All right, so this week we've decided to do a little bit differently because most of this is pop songs, well, kind of popish,
Yeah.
at least written
Yeah.
by popular artists. We decided to flip the game on its head, and now we're doing pick a song from the show and apply a show tune to it.
Damn, 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 damn.
Yaw.
Thank you. All right, so who wants to start? Kevin, would you like to start, or would you
Oh.
like to warm? We'll just be warmed up by hours in case you had
Yeah.
some questions.
Can you guys warm me up?
Sure. So I'll go.
Yeah.
So I love in musicals, much like The Sound of Music, where there's sort of a show inside of a show. Right, Sound of Music, they're doing the whole
The goat thing.
the singers,
Oh.
the goat thing.
high on the hill.
Oh no,
below
that is the
me.
worst ever. No,
It scared Dan very much.
Yeah, I hated that.
You were
It scared
But
him.
there's a concert, like there's a concert at the end, like they're doing a concert, and there's something I don't want to go into why, but there's something about that just not that I just don't know why. And so
Sure.
I thought instead of the Bikini Bottom Boogie, what if they just came out and they're in their roller skates and same costumes, and then they just sang Edelweiss. Edelweiss.
Yes.
Edelweiss.
That'd be
Yeah.
really funny.
Wouldn't it be great?
Yeah.
That'd be a good
But
bit.
also like a version of Edelweiss that's written by Steven Tyler. Am I
or
doing
just
this
Steven
right?
Tyler like singing Edelweiss.
Yeah. Steven Tyler just comes out.
Yeah. So that's my my show tune replacement. I had to, of course, draw upon one of the musicals we've already done because I don't know any other.
Yeah, you cheated a little bit, but I like it. We're teaching you
I thought
things.
about Les Mis. I did have a Les Mis option, but
Is it One Day More?
it was one day more.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
That's
Yeah.
Kevin's. You
No,
took
I'm not
his.
doing that
Okay,
one.
good,
Sorry.
good.
All right.
Ooh,
Okay.
should I do one?
So Edelweiss replacing Bikini
I
Bottom
assumed
Boogie.
you would. Okay, I'm gonna do mine.
Okay, go.
Okay, the scary David Bowie song about how they're all like, oh no, everything's going wrong. Oh, bummer for us. Things are gonna get bad. Reminded me of. Why are you laughing?
Kevin is holding in an eruption of laughter.
I just thought of a good one. So
Oh.
go ahead. I have
Maybe-
two options.
Okay. It made me think of Totally Fucked from Spring Awakening.
Oh yeah.
Uh huh.
a
That's
good one.
it.
Which I can't wait to see.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about that. Actually, I think you might really like it.
I think you
well,
will
now that
too.
there's a song called "Totally Fucked." Yes.
I was on
Yeah.
stage for it.
I was in it.
Fuck
I
off.
thought I always thought I've heard the term "Spring Awakening" before. I thought it was some like really like an old Greek play.
I mean, it is an old play, but we'll do that in Nerd Alert.
Yeah.
All right, you're right. Well, good one, I guess. I don't know.
Thank you. It is a good one.
Okay.
I'll know one day. You know, we'll do Spring Awakening, and I'll go, oh,
That's the one that
so
Kayla
applicable.
wants, so I'm really excited for that
Ooh,
episode
there
too.
you go.
Yeah, that's the one that she wants to do.
All right, Kevin, what you got?
All right. I have two, if that counts.
Yeah,
Extra
I
bonus
guess.
points. Yes, it counts.
Okay. Well, the first one I'm not sure counts as a musical. It has musical in the name though. So instead of Chop to the Top. Okay.
Oh God.
Get this.
I know where this is going.
It would be Bop to the Top from High School Musical.
Yeah,
because
you went there.
what more do you want from them climbing these boxes and like yeah, okay, we get it, you're chopping and stuff, but
But what if you were
clearly,
bopping?
yeah, what if you were bopping and it was
Instead.
Sharpay and Ryan performing it? Wow, what a great idea.
What if the mountain were made of the children's toy boppets
Exactly.
instead of cardboard boxes?
Ashley Tisdale, born for the role of Sandy Cheeks. I'm just throwing it out there. And then, okay, so the actual musical that I'm talking about. I would, as much as I like I'm Not a Loser, I think the song King of New York from Newsies could be put in its place because it's also a tap number. And that's the
I was gonna
only
say, you're gonna need to
reason. What?
Address this.
This doesn't make sense.
What do you mean?
You can't just replace one tap number with any tap number.
What do you mean?
There are no rules here at
Okay,
Music
but he's
Pals.
he's talking about how like, oh, he's the king of New York. It's like so fun and it's a fun number and like, wow, what a fun day.
I think you're thinking of Just Can't Wait to Be King
Yeah.
in The Lion King.
That could also be put in place for it.
Like you're wrong.
Okay, so King of New York and Bob to the Top are my final
Great
answers.
work.
Lock it in.
Lock
Lock
it in.
Lock it in. Slide it over.
See?
Give me that check for $1 million.
Why would we give you $1 million?
He's doing Who Wants to Be a
A
Millionaire,
millionaire.
Katie. Yeah. All right.
So now it's hashtag
Okay.
game,
Oh, okay.
or reviewing it.
I
or
don't
who
know
you
where-
identify with.
what was it? Read the paper out loud.
Oh, wow. It was Who Do You Identify With?
Oh. All right. I went first the last time, so Kevin, go.
Like the person, what is this? The character I most
Katie,
identify
go.
with?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I
K-Dog.
I would say I relate most to SpongeBob. I am just very optimistic a lot. I have great managerial skills. I wear ties sometimes. I have 0 upper body strength, but I'm trying to work on it, much like SpongeBob does in this musical. And I think, I don't know, I'm just like an optimistic person. That's one of the reasons I went to go see SpongeBob.
There you go.
Yeah,
I like it.
he's a good guy.
I originally said the same thing. That I was partially SpongeBob, is the character I relate to. But in the course of this several hour, I realized that you are far more SpongeBob than I. So I was going to say 75% SpongeBob for his optimism, but not his managerial skills. And then like 25% Plankton, because, you know, I'm just kind of always trying to take over the world, more or less.
Yes, you kind of are.
By no, you know, any means necessary.
No,
So
I
I
want to
think...
be Patchy.
What the hell?
I'm interrupting you. I'm so sorry, Dan.
All right, let me finish. I'm going to switch it to, I'm going to be Mr. Krabs and Plankton. That's what I decided.
Wait, where did Mr. Krabs come from? Please explain.
Yeah, so Mr. Krabs because I'm salty and I love money. And also, I feel like that's the character I would play.
Yeah.
And also, I'd love to run a fast food restaurant. I love fast food a lot. And
we've talked
then
about Taco Bell
partially
before.
love Taco Bell. Partially, I would be Plankton because I want to take over the world. And also, my biggest enemy is myself. Deep.
Whoa.
Deep.
Fuck.
Damn.
See what I just did there? All right.
Patchy or Pro?
Go.
I identify with Patchy. I want to be Patchy. I'm a big fan. I'm on the outside of it. I'm just like, I love this.
Always trying
Please
to...
let me be a part of this.
Yeah, actually, that's perfect.
I'll do anything. Like, I really want to be involved.
Mean Girls the Musical.
Even throughout the course of this podcast, you've asked for like 3 auditions.
Like, please just like give me a shot. Like, let me be on stage. Like, I think that's
Yeah,
Patchy.
you nailed it. You nailed it. All right, points go to Katie for this one.
Thanks.
Good job, Katie.
Points went to me for the show tune. Kevin, you're out.
What the fuck?
I'm just
No, I
kidding.
think
There's no
Kevin did a
points.
good job.
No, Kevin, you did a fantastic job. There's no points.
We have to be nice to our guests.
You're right. You're right.
Hashtag that.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be the other one.
Yum, yum, yum.
It
All
is
right.
hashtag that, right?
Yeah, it is hashtag that.
Very.
What are these supposed to be?
Yeah, so think of a hashtag related to the... I typed all of this up and sent it in a Facebook message.
I read it. It's just like
You did not.
In person, it's different.
All right, we've explained it to every guest, so we will do you that honor as well. All right, think of a hashtag that is related to the show somehow, even vaguely related.
Can I
and
get
then,
like some past examples?
And then, well, you know, we'll warm you up again. We'll warm you
yeah,
up.
warm me up.
All right, Katie, you want to go
Yeah.
first? You want me to go?
No, I
In
want
the
you to go.
microwave.
You need to go.
No, I want you to
You
go.
want me to go? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you said no. I need to go.
No, I need it. Yeah.
All right.
Go first.
So this one is gonna be. This is just gonna go so wrong based on the last 2 hours, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Okay.
So the device that Sandy devises to stop the volcano from erupting is called the Eruptor Interrupter.
Oh no.
So I'm gonna give you an example just so you guys kind of know where my head is at. So it's hashtag Eruptor Interrupter, and the tweet, an example tweet might be, "Damn kids walked in on me and the wife mid coitus." Hashtag Eruptor Interrupter. And go.
Oh damn! The cops found me on a public park bench again. Hashtag Eruptor Interrupter.
I love that this person in this scenario probably homeless, but somehow has a Twitter.
No, like homeless people carry
no,
on
no.
Wi-Fi hotspots now. Some
And
of them.
Really?
What if
Yeah.
I like to hook up in parks? Like,
That's
don't
true.
judge it.
Well, I will judge it. It's inappropriate.
Okay. Okay, I got this.
Okay.
Oh man, I got really. How long is this supposed to be?
As long as you want.
140 characters.
Yeah.
Sweet, don't count. Oh man, I got really mad at my mom and I almost yelled at her. But then my cat came and sat on my lap. Hashtag Eruptor Interrupter.
Very good, very
you took it,
PG.
yeah, you took it to a PG
That was
level.
You're
heartwarming.
welcome.
And that's good. I wanted it to go really R, but it didn't.
Oh,
And
I
that's
can try
good.
it now.
No, I mean, I thought it would go really R, and you made it. You
Kevin's
reeled it
not
back.
as dirty.
Oh, it's like Oh, I was on. Wait, how am I tweeting if
it's
my
like
phone died?
all the porn I watch.
I was on Grinder trying to find a guy to bone, and then my phone died. But I'm still tweeting this. Hashtag eruptor interrupter. Thanks, phone. Did I do?
Yeah, that
Nailed
was
it.
better.
You
that
nailed
was
it.
better.
Cool.
It's trying to find a dude to bone.
Yeah, now I'm tweeting on my laptop. Fuck you, phone.
What is this?
Can you go on Grindr on your laptop?
No.
Is it grinder.com?
Grinder.com. Grinder.com.
Maybe
Download
we'll
the
get
app,
sponsored by
dummy.
Grindr one day.
Yeah. Hey, Grinder.
This
Hey,
podcast
listen.
brought to you by Grindr.
Yeah.
And
To
the
be honest,
the
yeah.
LGBT subsidiary of Tinder, I think.
I
So
don't think
get on out there.
Tinder owns it.
Use the
No, it's different.
use the promo code MusicPals and get a free boyfriend.
Free
Ooh,
boyfriend.
Couple of
Sign
them.
me up.
Yeah, me too.
All right, Katie or
I
Kevin.
don't have one.
I have one, but you can't use it for anything else. But I dare you to
Do
try.
it.
Yeah, that's our
We're
job.
improvising.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
our job.
Mine goes along with the idea we had earlier about going viral. It's hashtag Plankton Dance Challenge.
Yeah,
Here's an example tweet.
Okay.
I had one ready to fire.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Do you want to go first?
yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead.
Back in the hospital again. Hashtag Plankton Dance. What is it again?
Plankton Dance Challenge.
Back in the hospital again. Hashtag Plankton Dance Challenge.
I have two. One is, man, that was a really tough hip hop class that we just took. Hashtag Plankton Dance Challenge.
Very good, yes.
The second one is, well, I guess this E. coli is going to teach me not to keep my mouth open in the ocean. Hashtag Plankton Dance Challenge.
Why are you dancing in the ocean?
Yeah, how are you dancing in the ocean?
We're talking about a musical that occurs in the ocean. We're not talking about.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Somehow E. coli has entered the
Oh my
picture.
God.
All right, Katie, what you got?
I have.
Are you doing the Plankton hashtag?
No, I have one. I'm just gonna dance and then be like.
Damn kids walked in on
Hashtag Plankton Dance.
kids walked in on me and the wife mid hashtag Plankton Dance Challenge.
Oh man, I'm hypnotized by a radioactive chum bucket. Hashtag Plankton Dance Challenge.
Done. Oh god.
Wait, this is the best one.
You
I
thought
like
it was
this.
gonna be so bad.
I like this. I like this.
Good bits, good bits.
All right, Katie, what you got?
What should it be? What should it be?
I was think my second one was hashtag chum bucket, but it was also semen based. So
Oh.
Also semen based.
Oh.
Okay, what about like bikini bottom tourist board
okay, I like that.
Yeah.
and just like shit that happens? Well,
Yeah.
we just saw the show. We know what happens there. What about?
Oh yeah, but you can make things up.
Okay, fine.
Improv.
Kevin, go.
Oh. Oh. What is it? Bikini Bottom Tourist Board?
Yeah.
We just got a Brazilian. Hashtag Bikini Bottom Tourist Board.
All right.
Like a
Nice.
Brazilian
I
wax.
get it
Oh,
because the
yeah,
bikini
yeah.
bottom covers
Yeah.
up your genitalia.
Yeah.
And there's hair around
Yeah.
it, and then you wax
Brazilian.
it off.
But it's also like, oh, we got a Brazilian person in Bikini Bottom. Wink.
Diversity, yeah.
Wink, wink.
Um,
I thought it was funny.
it was wonderful. You nailed it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
The Krusty Krab. It's not just a strip club for old men anymore. Hashtag Bikini Bottom Tourist Board.
What is it now?
A restaurant.
Oh.
Yeah, it used to be called the Krusty Krab because you just had an old crabby guy
crusty
stripping in there.
pee-pee.
Exactly.
A crusty
This
pee-pee.
is kind of horrible.
Okay. All right, so the last bit here. Of course, we review the musical based on a few surprise categories.
Wait.
They're pretty basic. Music, writing, and pageantry.
Yes.
Ooh.
The score, the book, and the design.
Yeah, exactly. So out of five stars or five whatevers, really. Do you want to go first? Or you want to think about it?
Warm me up, you guys.
All right, we'll warm you up again.
Warm me up.
So I say music, 1,000,000 out of 5. They got
High praise.
Yeah, it wasn't. I think the songs, there have been better songs in musicals before, but so cool that they got such a diverse set of musicians to write the music for the show.
Work.
So earned it. 1 million out of 5 microphones. The writing, 7 out of 10. Good enough. Or sorry, 3 out of. The writing, 3 out of 5. I forgot that it was on a scale of 5 and not 10.
It's whatever you want.
It was good. It was cool that it was like a cartoon, but it was a little too convenient and a little sloppy at times. I think the pageantry, there's no score. It's just there's never been a better one ever, and I refuse to believe that there ever has been.
And
so
never will be.
1 million pool noodles out of 5 pool noodles is what I will rate it.
I totally agree. I like the pool noodle system. I'd say music. It's like a 4. Like all the songs are good, but I just think there's too much, and they need to do a little editing.
Sure.
And then the story, I would give it a 4 too. I just think there's a little bit of tightening that needs to be done, a little bit of clarification that they could do. And
did it really save you all that much time to remove the shun?
well, now that you talked about it, no.
Exactly.
But before it would have.
Fight.
We're gonna do this.
Bitch.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ah!
Katie died.
I'm sorry.
That was Katie's death. That was it. She just died.
What's a bummer. And then the pageantry, I agree. It's like no score. It's like so amazing. 1 million pool noodles out of 5 pool noodles.
So good.
Yes.
Kevin, take us home.
Cool. So for music, I will also give it a 4 out of 5. Tiny music notes.
Okay.
And I really liked it, but I will say I forgot about like 20% of the songs.
Yeah. And that's significant,
yeah.
right? Like,
and not just like forgot how they went, but like completely forgot they were in the show. Like
Yeah.
the Patrick number, I was like, oh, you exist.
Yeah.
And normally when I think of a show, if I see the name of a song, I should be able to like think of how it goes, like if it like jogs my memory. Writing, I'll go like no. I was gonna give it a 2.5, but I'll give it a 3 little paper emojis out of 5, because I feel like a lot of it was just very convenient, but then you also take into account it's adapted from a children's show.
yeah.
So I can't be too hard on it. So I'm bumping it up that extra 0.5 little paper emoji.
That's fair.
And then for design or for pageantry, I'm going to give it like 20 potential boyfriends out of 5. Just because,
Now, is a potential boyfriend more valuable than an actual boyfriend?
Yes.
Okay.
well,
I just wanted to make sure.
I don't know. Because like
No,
the
I disagree.
potential,
It's not.
yeah, I can't
Alright.
cuddle a potential, well, no, I can cuddle
You
a
could
potential
poten-
boyfriend.
yeah.
Anyway,
But
continue.
it's more
20.
secure when you have it, so it's better.
Yeah. And when I said 20, I meant like 20 million. Like this was
Yeah.
just so cool. And like, I don't know. There's just so many things that you see it, you kind of, you like go in, you like want to write off like the whole musical. You see how like weird the set is. And then it kind of starts and you're just like sucked in by the whole thing. And
Yeah.
you like forget that they're pool noodles. You forget that.
You think? Immediately, I was like, "This is gonna be the coolest show I've ever seen."
Oh, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Different opinions.
Wow.
Wow.
No. I love a good Rube Goldberg, so I.
Yeah.
Oh my
The
gosh.
pageantry. They do Rube
We
Goldbergs,
didn't
by the way.
even
2
talk
of them in
about
there.
that actually.
I know.
Yeah.
Too bad.
Well, next time
Next
we
time.
review
Next
SpongeBob
time
the Musical.
We'll go see it on Broadway and we'll re-review it.
Yeah.
Our first re-review.
Rewind.
All right. So with that, thank you so much for being here with us, Kevin. It
No
was
problem.
wonderful. It was terrible.
Thanks,
I love you,
Kev.
Katie.
No.
Do you have anything to
Fuck
plug?
off. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, yeah, I
Yeah,
have things
please-
to plug.
Please plug it in.
I just came out with a
Our
comedy
new segment.
album.
Plug it in.
It's 3 hours of me saying the word lit. So
So
buy it
that.
now on
Can you get it
Spotify
on
and
Spotify?
iTunes.
Buy
Yeah.
it now on Spotify.
Buy it. It's only available to premium users. So
Okay, fair enough.
just 3 hours of me saying the
And
word
what do you
lit.
type into Spotify? K-Dog? K-Dog sings
Kevin-
lit.
K-Dog sings lit.
Arts and Literature by Kevin.
Yeah. Also go to lit.com.
Apparently don't do
Please
that.
don't.
No, please do.
don't.
Anything else?
No, I mean, if you want to come hang out with me, I'll be probably at Katie's apartment So
Do you have
Probably.
a Twitter? Do you have a Twitter that you're
yes, undercover Kevin.
He's also Instagram famous.
Ooh.
Undercover K3VIF. Yeah.
No, but he does stuff at Comedy Sports and IO, and you know.
Yeah. Come
Oh.
see my Comedy Sports team Cabal over at Comedy Sports. And my
Say Comedy Sports again.
Comedy
Sports.
Sports.
Sports and comedy.
Sports and
For your arts
I
and
love
literature.
sports. I'm also a big Cubs fan.
Woo woo, go Cubs!
Yeah.
Cubs won the World Series. We didn't talk about
What?
We
that.
didn't talk about that. That
We
was
were
a
there.
happy day.
Cubs won the World Series. We went there. Fun. Okay. Well, thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah, thanks
It was
to
a
you guys.
delight.
I can't wait for Newsies.
You might be joining us again. And thanks to all of our listeners for sticking in there with us. We love you, and you're wonderful, and keep tweeting us and direct
Yeah.
messaging us. And
Do the hashtag.
oh my God,
names.
when we get a direct message, it makes
my
our hearts
gosh.
feel so happy inside.
I like it. Truly like
Yeah.
makes my life.
Well, really anything. It doesn't have to be a direct message. Just any interaction, because we crave social human interactions.
Yeah, we're very lonely, so please tweet us.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Goodbye.
Hey everybody, it's your Musa Noob Dan here to tell you about the clue for next week's episode. It's a pretty simple one. It's maybe even a little ironic. Because winter is truly upon us. You might say winter has awoken? See you next time.